more and more people and companies are getting into the business jet aircraft. Here's few of the options for you to get into that business jet lifestyle. On today's episode, we're talking about the idea of anybody just to get into the business jet lifestyle. But before we get into it, so don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media. We all have those 24 hours a day, and we have the capacity to either very well be productive at it, or we can very well spend it. So by the time you go on in life, you'll be able to either have some additional resources and spend it, and you spend it at your disposal. But to have a more productivity on your time, you can also control your time by having those extra resources, right? That's what it calls time is money. In business jet, they also have or give you the capacity to control your time, but that is expensive. So here's the options that we have that we can guide you through it in case that you actually entertain the idea of getting into a private jet aviation. And you got the expensive option and you got the entry level. So here we go. Start with your entry level. Entry level is the options for you to get in and have a taste of it. And the best way is to charter an aircraft. You reach out to your local operator that has this type of aircraft that you are fascinated on it, and then you just hire them for a trip from point A to point B. You pay them the last time and you should be all set and done. At that time, you'll be able to identify what is good, what is not so good, if it's actually well worth it for your lifestyle. Next option, it's a split up in two. Jet car, which is usually pay as you go. It's a prepay. It's a membership that is at a shorter term, it's more affordable, and it's predictable of your expenses. Next option, it is a fractional ownership. It is more expensive, it has its perks, some additional cost involved, has a longer commitment, which is usually about 36 months, but it guarantees availability. It has its tax benefits, which is kind of a good thing for those corporate entities that want to take advantage of those tax breaks. So here's a few questions that you gotta ask yourself in order to determine which one is the best for you, either the jet car or the fractional ownership. And all that depends on your lifestyle, on you commuting to work, either by air, by car, whatever the case is. But starting from that, we're talking about aircraft business jet, is that which aircraft type do you want? Is it a lighter jet? Is it a mid-size? Is it a larger aircraft? It all depends on your lifestyle. Now, how many hours do you expect to fly in the next 12 months? Is it by yourself? Is it with a co-worker? Is it with a family member? Do you need a pet to come with you? What is it? All that comes into play. Is your schedule flexible? Are you able to arrange flights within a day later, 2 days later? Can you pre-arrange those 48 hours, 96 hours prior to your flight? Now, does it really need to have a larger aircraft? It could be also a turboprop aircraft. Now, there's a variety of operators out there that they're very well destined to serve those customers or those destinations that they're not into a larger airport, and that's a cost saving as there. Now, those questions, it all depends on the operation, like I said before. But some of the questions that we have, they're also into the cabin service. Do you require a flight attendant? Do you require an in-flight Wi-Fi? Do you require a toilet, an enclosed toilet? And that really depends on what kind of aircraft that we're talking about. Now, when it comes to regular routes, like either northeast the states to south or to the Midwest, those are regular flights. They can be done in a lighter jet, in a mid-size, in a larger, but it all depends on your needs. It's all into the customer preference. And that part, it requires an upfront initial investment. That has its benefits, but it also has a lot of risks. Now, having that a lot of risk, it also gives you a lot of opportunity for you to have your schedule at your own time, your own crew. So one of the aircraft that is very common in the industry right now is the Cessna Latitude. And just to start in it, to give you some perspective as far as cost and operating costs throughout the year, let's go through the numbers. So just to aircraft acquisition, we're talking about nowadays in 2025, it's about $14 million just to acquire. Now, when we're talking about acquisition costs, that all depends on the hours, where it's located, and the programs that are involved with the aircraft. But this aircraft can travel at 470 knots, we can translate to 500 miles per hour traveling. It covers most of the US. Now, when we now talk about fixed costs, those fixed costs we're talking about that it includes the aircraft crew salaries, training, insurance, hangar, some maintenance that is predetermined. Now, next about that, it will be the variable costs. Those variable costs, it depends on the aircraft usage. Those aircraft used, it comes with hours. If you fly 50 hours, you pay for those 50 hours. But it's your aircraft, right? It's kind of weird saying that you're paying for your own, but yeah, it is the truth. We do work with some reserve that by the time you fly the aircraft, you have a reservation to cover those costs by the time maintenance comes due. And usually we're talking about an Cessna Latitude, it's about $500,000 a year to cover for those operating costs. And acquisition, $14 million. So there you have it. In case that you need anything, let us know, Logan Aviation, and leave us your comment below.